seasonal, and they're freaking out.
Oh yeah, so many of my friends have come down with head colds or things that
Right.
are not COVID, but
Right.
more than usual. More of
Right.
my friends than usual have been sick.
I will be very curious. I don't know how they'll be able to figure this out, but I would imagine that the increase in panic and fear is collectively weakening our immunity and we're more susceptible to things. So again, healthy practices, healthy balance can do a world of good at this point.
So I guess, fear and anxiety, that's such a big thing. And I personally struggle a lot with anxiety. And I think now more than usual, people either who haven't necessarily struggled with anxiety or fear are feeling that because they're losing their job or they might lose their job. They're worried about paying their mortgage or their rent.
That's right.
I know for me with the pre-existing issues with anxiety, it's gone sort of through the roof at points. I really had to take time to breathe and to, pray and really try and focus my thoughts. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some coping mechanisms to deal with fear and anxiety and identifying it.
First of all, to respond to the current situation with fear and anxiety is an appropriate response.
Yeah.
It's an appropriate response. This is a unique moment. It is a singular moment. And in that, I think it's helpful for us to remember that it is a shared experience. Mm-hmm. It is not a reflection of you or me or one or two people or one area or one country. It is a shared experience. This is important. It's not a fun fact, but it's an important fact. The reason I say that is neurologically, we are more in balance and we're performing more efficiently and more optimally when we're in consideration of others. So to your point about fear practices and ways to deal with it, compassion practice, the act of sitting, finding your breath to the best of your ability, and beginning to offer, you can call it prayer, you can call it meditation, invoking a desire to relieve the suffering of all people, and noticing who comes up in the mind. Allow whoever to come up to be someone that you would offer this phrase to. May you be free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering. This will do incredible things to the body, calming the body, relaxing the mind. So again, that reduces adrenaline and cortisol. So that strengthens the immune system. It becomes a positive feedback loop when consuming information over and over again, weakening the immune system, negative feedback loop. So we're looking for active coping, positive feedback loops. Another thing you can do, again, this is taken from Dr. Daniel Brown, is a sense of a best self strategy. Okay. So noticing that you're freaked out and you've read some news, you've looked at HuffPo and the New York Times, and now you're freaking out and you don't know about it's just chaos.
Okay, what do? I'm at height freak out.
I'm at a 10, right?
I'm at a 10.
If you can find a way to sit for a few minutes, and again, I want to stress that you can look at these as mental hygiene exercises, right? Think of them as your civic responsibility right now to take care of yourself. So
everyone has, how long does this take? You can do this in a few minutes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing, if you are a meditator and you want to get into deep meditation, now's your chance. Everyone's on retreat at home. But if you want to engage in simple practices, these can be 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, and you can do them throughout the day. So best self strategy, you sit down, you remember a time in your life where you behaved optimally, a time when you really shined, when you thought you were handling something with skill and emotional intelligence, a sense of understanding, you were performing really well. Any point in your life, any memory. And I would actually say, for the purpose of this exercise, it can be a fantasy. It doesn't need to have actually happened. Okay. We could talk more about how the brain works with that.
Yeah.
But in this exercise, you sit and you bring to mind the best experience of Daniel really just doing great. And you notice all those internal resources, and then you begin to apply them to how you're going to deal with today. And you continue to return them to your view. And you start to remember, I can do this. I have these skills. I can focus on this problem and deal with it today. And continuing to bring it back is a really healthy, easy, accelerated practice that kind of anyone can do.
I love that. So would you say, because I've had a whole bunch of questions below about meditation, and I know
Sure.
that it's something that I've been really interested in, because let's explain it for people. So there are many
Sure.
different types of meditation, correct?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So if I've never meditated before and I wanted to see what type of meditation worked for me, what are some of the names? Are there resources that I can look up? Because, you know, when I started meditating, I realized that there were certain types of meditation that worked better for me than others, but I needed to inform myself about what those practices were.
Great. So meditation is essentially, just to sort of bring it all together, is taking a formal period of time, however long you decide, and focusing your attention on whatever objective you've decided to focus your attention on. So if you want to call that, if you want to just work with your breath, you could spend your entire life following the experience of breath. So let's start with breath, right?
Okay.
You can sit down and find a posture. You can sit in a full lotus. You can sit in a chair. The reason we don't want to lie down is often we fall asleep when we lie down.
Okay.
So just sit in a chair. You can let your eyes soften. Let your body soften and just begin to follow the experience of your breath coming into your body and out of your body, and make it like a game. I'm just going to follow my breath in and out. And when my mind gets sticky and grabby and reminds me to think of something else, I just focus my awareness on my breath again. Very basic. Breathing in, breathing out. And do that for 5 minutes. An interesting thing about the breath, every time we breathe in, the heart rate increases. But every time we breathe out, it releases acetylcholine, which calms the central nervous system. So by beginning to balance this breathing in and breathing out, the body kind of comes back online.
Yeah.
It's a very basic, easy thing you can do. There are thousands of ways to meditate. I study Indo-Tibetan Buddhist practices. So that involves a lot of chanting, that involves a lot of deity yoga. And I think it has a lot of immediate, powerful neurological benefits. So people can look that up. We're happy to spend more time. I know we have limited time. We could talk about that for probably weeks.
But actually, one of an amazing resource that you have to offer is Love Your Zen Life, and also your personal Instagram, both of which, if you're watching this, I have tagged, and I'll tag in the comments below. And yes, I've followed you. It's like having you in my living room. I've followed you many a time. So I'm gonna actually put this up on my main page because people are having trouble finding my Instagram TV. So if you guys have other questions, you can comment below, and maybe Daniel, you can answer some of them if you see them, if you tag him in the question.
Absolutely.
And then you can also check him out on both of those Instagram pages. I really, really recommend it. It's very life-giving and life-changing. So
I'm really proud of our friendship, and I really appreciate your support. If I can say one thing, please understand, everyone, that this is not a reflection of you. If you feel core things coming up, if you feel like you're falling apart, that is a normal response. You're not doing anything wrong. If you're struggling to find balance, that is a shared experience. We are a unique species because we actually can care for each other. And if we start to work and move towards a sense of balance, it affects everyone. So notice that and lean into it. And finally, if you're on a phone right now and you have electricity and you slept indoors and you've had water and food, recognize the potential for gratitude. You know, it's a powerful agent in this time. So thank you so much.
Daniel, I really appreciate this. Much love.
Much love to the whole crew up there, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? So I just press this. Is that it?
Yeah, you just, it's taken me a while to figure out.